partnered up on Wednesday at Western Michigan. Just kind of talk about how things been going leading up to that and what you're expecting.
It's been great. You know, we've had, I think our intensity level in practice the last 4 or 5 days to a week has gotten better. Obviously, as we were approaching game days, everyone's excited to play, and I like our group a lot. We obviously have strengths and deficiencies like everyone in the country, but their effort's been good, their attitudes have been great, and you know, we're just excited to get started.
But how do you feel as far as your starting 5 and I guess maybe the next 3 or 4 after that going into Wednesday?
You know, I feel really good about our group. Obviously, you know, we're kind of nicked up a little bit, and you know, Drew hasn't practiced in the last 10 days, and he should be able to practice today. Sleepy has been out for about 4 days with the calf strain, so you know, he's kind of day-to-day right now. But you know, the good thing about our team is that, you know, we have more depth, and you know, I like our group a lot. So we'll you know, depending on what it looks like after today, we'll make some final decisions on the starting lineup going forward.
Do you like opening up with another mid-major instead of a power conference?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just ready to play. I mean, I just want to play someone, and I'm sure these guys are tired of playing against each other and anxious to play somebody else too. And but it's good to go on the road. You know, obviously, I think, you know, being able to go on the road early in the season, my experience, it brings your team closer together. We have to be really, really tight. We have to have great energy, and you know, all oars going in the same direction and all boats going in the same direction to have success anywhere in the country on the road, let alone you know, going out to Michigan to to play Central Michigan, who's Western Michigan, which is a really good team.
To follow up, when you mentioned kind of some of your players that are injured, because it's non-conference and obviously being a mid-major, the whole focus is winning the conference. Are you a little more cautious in not trying to rush those players back?
You know, our goal is to play and you know, try to win every game we play, David. But you know, I tell our guys all the time, you know, I don't ever want to play guys that are injured. I think there's a difference between, you know, being banged up and sore versus being injured. And but you know, Western has all of our attention. They're really, really good, and you know, we've kind of, you know, as a staff, we talked about it today. As a team, we talk about it all the time. Is we just take it one day at a time, one game at a time. And you know, right now, you know, Western Michigan has all of our focus and attention.
And AJ, for you, man, just after sitting out last year, it's about to be your first real game action in over a year. Just how anxious are you to get back out on the court, man?
I'm very anxious. You know, I was talking to Coach Schroyer about it the other day. It's a blessing just to be able to get back on the court, play with my teammates, and try to make a difference on the court here at McNeese State.
With that in mind, do you have to kind of slow yourself down a bit because you didn't play last year, to not do too much too quick?
No, I think I just come in, just play the game the right way. The right way is, Coach always says, do what we do, and that's basically me just being on the court, playing our concepts and my game. Just take a deep breath. That's all you have to do.
Roydell, you obviously played last season, but missed the end of the season with the injury. So you've kind of been out a little bit as well. So how anxious are you to get back out on the court?
I'm real anxious. You know, as a senior, this is my first game that like I'm gonna play as a senior. Like me and AJ talked today. AJ came to me and like this your last go around, last year. So I'm real anxious. You know, I ain't played about the last couple games, but I feel like I'm back to 100% and everything's going very well.
What did you learn from playing last year in this league?
Honestly, every game is going to be a game. It's no team that, like me playing last year, I learned a lot that every team can win. Like teams that you think wasn't winning, they won. In games that you thought team was going to win, they lost. So it's a real up and down conference, and I really feel like this is our year that we could possibly win.
Coach Michigan also said, like, do what they do what you do, and then concepts. These early non-conference games, what do you fear that it will show you? And then on the flip side, what are you looking forward early in the season to learn about this team?
You know, I've said all along, I think the two biggest things, Rick, for us going forward, obviously, is to remain healthy. and number two is emotional intelligence. You know, we've talked about it a lot, you know, in our scrimmage, you know, when we scrimmage each other, when we played Alcorn here, you know, how do we come out in the second half and be better? You know, if we're up 4 with, you know, 4 minutes left, how do we win that game? If we're down 4 with 4 minutes left, how do you win that game? And so I think that, you know, throughout the non-conference season, you know, I think that, you know, we're going to be able to learn a lot about ourselves. Obviously, our schedule is very, very challenging, but I like that in the sense that we're going to learn a lot about each other. We're going to learn, we're going to face adversity, and how do we respond to adversity? You know, but again, I always go back to with us, I like our group a lot, and it comes down to us, you know, being able to stay healthy, stay fresh, but also keep an edge. You know, this, you know, when you're building a program and you're trying to accomplish something that, I mean, with all due respect, hasn't been accomplished here in a long, long time, you have to have an edge about yourself, but you also have to have, you know, emotional intelligence as well.
Has this team surprised you at all in the early practices and the early competition that you've had? Is there anything that stands out in your mind that you didn't expect that you saw?
I have a lot of confidence in a lot of guys. You know, I think that the one thing that I like about this group is that obviously these two, you know, are huge focal points for us. But you know, the guys that we signed, I think that all of them come in and bring an element or can really help us with certain needs. And I think that the team meshes pretty well together. Now, obviously, you know, we haven't played anyone for real yet, but early, I've been really excited about the pieces that we're able to add around these guys, and I think that the puzzle, if you will, really fits. Now, we haven't played any games yet, and we have deficiencies just like everyone in the country, but I like how the pieces fit together. I think we have really, really good chemistry. It's a very, very competitive group, sometimes to a fault, but it's a very, very competitive group, and you know, and it's one sometimes you know you don't have to wind them up. Sometimes you got to, you know, pull them back a little bit, but that's a lot easier to do that as a coach than it is wind them up all the time. So I'm excited about our group, and we obviously know that, you know, going and playing, you know, Western Michigan on the road is a tough task. It's a Hall of Fame coach and a great program, and you know, we'll have to play really well.
Do you feel that you're going to, especially with Southland Conference play starting a little earlier than normal, do you feel like you need to find out the true identity of the team sooner rather than later? Or is it just one of those things that it comes when it comes?
You know, I think we've talked about, you know, our identity and creating our identity, you know, from day one. And, but I think that, you know, AJ said it best. I mean, we talk about all the time is we have to do what we do really well. We have to control the controllables. You know, I think so many times you get caught up as a coach and worrying about what everyone else does instead of just trying to do what you do really, really well. Obviously, every game is a different, you know, you have different tweaks here and there, and you have game plans, but, you know, being able to be committed to, you know, making the right play and, you know, and playing to your strengths individually and playing to our strengths as a team, to me, after, you know, I think this is my 25th year now, I always think that's the, you know, most important thing. I've always said this to these guys too, that, you know, getting, you know, continuing to get better individually is important to me as development as players. You know, late in the year, if you ask me would I rather have a better trick play or a better player, I'll take a better player. So we still will always continue to work on our skills and get these guys as, you know, developed and continue to develop and as good as we can get them.
Last year you didn't have a lot of depth at the end of the year especially, but you also didn't have a lot of firepower. You couldn't score from a lot of different spots. Do you feel like you have more firepower this year as far as offensively?
For sure, yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, just, you know, we have better depth. You know, we have multiple guys on the perimeter that on a given night can knock down multiple threes. I think that obviously with Roydell and Shamarcus, I think they're proven as good of a front court as our league. You know, I think AJ brings a different dynamic because he can play, you know, all over the floor. So we're better. For sure, we're better. And you know, we have to go out and play well. And Roydell's right. I mean, every night's a grind. Every game, it's really hard to win. I say it all the time. And, you know, the other coach has film. You know, they have a staff. They have staff meetings. They have, you know, so everyone's trying to win, and it's hard to win basketball games.
AJ,
if you don't mind, the perimeter shooting, you obviously were not playing last year, but the perimeter shooting was well documented was one of the deficiencies. From your vantage point, how do you overcome that? And also, there are going to be games when those shots don't fall, and you have to go to plan B, plan C. And a follow-up for Roydell.
I think when it comes to shooting, we just got to put in the work. That just comes to the time off the court. You know, if the only time you touching the basketball court is during practice, then of course you're not going to make shots. So, and that's something that Coach Schroyer is really big on, is us getting our shots up and, you know, making ourselves better outside of when he's in control of everything. And of course, when it's not falling inside the game, I just think you just attack the basket more. You don't necessarily just stop shooting. You just keep shooting. You just your teammates pick you up and try to help you with confidence. And eventually they'll fall. But you know, with us, I don't think we would have to rely just on a 3-point shot. You know, we're talented all around the court, so we'll be okay.
And the follow-up, the frustration level from your standpoint had to be immense in regards to the outside shooting. When you didn't have it, all of that fell on the front court and trying to get those inside points, which can be difficult to do, especially in conference play. But are you sensing a little bit of that weight off your shoulders now that you've got some of this, some perimeter shooting, and not only just three? I mean, the mid-range jumper would seem to be forgotten about.
Honestly, I really do. I really feel like we have probably couple guys on the team that can shoot the ball. We have Drew, Sam. I really feel like there's everybody on the team that can hit outside shots. Like you say, you know, we have guys that can put up mid-range shots. Like this year, this team is really we have everything. Like we don't just have people scoring the post, this play, that play, just everybody being able to hit shots. And like AJ said, just having confidence in your teammates to where, I mean, if you ain't having a good night, then like Coach says all the time, it could be this player night, this player night. So it just really having confidence in your team, your teammates to keep shooting the ball.
AJ, last year having to watch every game from the bench, I guess, what did you pick up mentally from watching it, or just from I guess you kind of had to watch it from a coach's perspective. So do you feel like, what did you see, and do you think that will be another thing that helps you this season?
Most definitely. Sitting out last year, it was very tough, but it also helped me see things in Coach Schroyer's eyes, like going and watching film with him, just sitting there talking, learning our offense and seeing what other teams do. This conference is really big on tough. It's really gritty, tough. So I just really feel like I just do what I do, and everybody else follow. We're a team. We follow whatever Coach Schroyer wants to do, and we'll be fine.
Coach said you guys made a big commitment inside to get bigger, stronger. How much did you learn from last year of how physical the league was, and how much more physical are you guys this year?
Honestly, it played a big factor, and I really noticed, like, once I got hurt, I felt like if I would have had like more pounds on me, then I probably would have never got hurt in a sense. But Coach really been big on players getting bigger. Everybody has gained about 10, 15 pounds. So I really feel like we're gonna be able to stand a long season rather than players getting hurt from not having weight on them or getting banged around too much. So I really feel like it helped out a lot.
Heart also comes to play with that too, though. We can't just let anybody just come in and bully us at home. Coach Schroyer always say, we gotta be tough, and that just really comes with heart. You gotta want to win. You gotta want to be on the floor, and that's what we're here to do.
I think too, that our strength coach, and I know I've said this a lot here, but Jimmy Butning has been a huge asset for us. He's been phenomenal, and we're just really fortunate to have him. And I think Jimmy's done a great job. And we talked a lot at the end of the year as a staff and as a team that not only do we have to get bigger and stronger, but we have to continue to live throughout the year. Take care of our bodies and to continue to get stronger. And I think we put a real premium on that, and obviously skill development. We put those two have been really big premiums since last year.
Any expectations, Coach, in regards to this non-conference games leading up to the conference play? The makeup of the team. There's going to be losses. There may be some wins in there as well. Again, you talked about the emotional stability of playing the games and learning from them in preparation for really the second season of the
Yeah, well, I think that, obviously as a competitor and as basketball coach and players, we're going to prepare to try to win every game we play, no matter who we play. But I also want to continue to get better, and at the same time, continue to get better and continue to, get better individually, get better as a team, and hit our stride. And but I don't know. I mean, for us right now, I don't think about the league. Right now, I'm focused on Western Michigan. And it's just right now I'm actually focused on today's practice. That's why I'm drinking my coffee. But I don't really, and everyone's different. But I really just try to focus on today, being able to have a great practice today, because that's what we can control. And and I think if we just have that, understanding as a team, and our leadership as a team continues to do what it's done and getting better, and having great days of practice, the rest of it takes care of itself. I mean, I've said all along, not only a season, but when you build a program, it's all a process, and you just have to trust the process, and you have to fall in love with the process. To get better as a player, there's been no great player that hasn't had a process of becoming a great player. There's been no program that's been built that hasn't had a process of being built, a team that goes through a process of getting better. And you can't skip steps. At the end of the day, you can't. And I understand that, and I've been doing this a long time. And these guys in this generation, they live in the now. But as long as we continue to get better and take care of today, we'll worry about tomorrow.
So I won't mention the conference play ever again.
You don't have to do that, Rick.
But with these early games,
sure.
What are you really focused on that key thing from the practice and in these games that you really feel that you have to make marked improvement?
Really solidify rotation, number one. Number two is, stay healthy and continue to get guys better. I think that, then the other thing is to find and really for our guys to grab a hold of and fall in love with an identity of who we are and what we're about. The one thing about this group that's different is that they all love this university. They love McNeese State, and they play for something bigger than themselves. We talk about it all the time, but these guys have demonstrated that to me. But I think really getting better, solidifying a rotation, solidifying packages when this guy's in at this position and that. All those things happen naturally throughout the course of the year and the season. But right now, we're just honestly focused on the next game, which is the first game.
Anybody else?
Coach, you did a deal with your marketing, at least I'm calling it marketing. You did the March Madness. You're doing the meet and greet today. Do you have anything else planned before they turn on?
No, I mean, we just wanted to, be able for some fans that haven't picked up their season tickets to be able to come by and, today between 5 and 7, the ticket office, Megan Slow and I talked about it. I said, well, why don't you just keep it open a little bit, and some of the players and the staff will be around to shake hands and sign autographs if you want, and for any of the fans to be able to come and meet some of the players and pick up their tickets. Being able to really build this thing, and it is, to me, is a big part of obviously getting people here, getting the students here, getting this community here, and and filling this arena, and putting a product on the floor and an environment here that becomes addictive. And we're excited about that. I mean, as a coach and as a player, you want to play in front of people. It's what you do it for, and you can, it's college basketball. I've always said a great home court is worth about 6 to 8 points. And, if we can, and we're on our way. We were second in the league last year in attendance. I've said it openly. I mean, we averaged 2,500. I want to average over 3,000 this year. And we can, if and when we do that, we'll create a better home court advantage, which obviously helps these guys play better. And, it's harder to play here as an opponent if the gym is popping and people are excited.
Well, a quick follow-up with the players. I mean, your schedules are stretched as it is, even at this level of play. I mean, does that give you any added stress in regards to what your coach, you started last year with really trying to integrate you guys into the community? Do you guys, is that easy for you? Do you enjoy that part of it, or is it something you have to balance that off as well?
I think this is not really a problem. It comes with being a D1 basketball player. You know, all of us come here to play, and our goal is to be professional, and that just comes with it. When it comes to enjoying it, we enjoy it. The whole community embraces us. I've never been around a group with so many nice people, especially me coming from Texas and me living in College Station and being an Aggie and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, it's really fun. You know, everybody out here is really nice, and I have no problem with it.
It's a great experience. Like, I mean, this community, they honestly love us a lot, and it's really like not a problem. That's what professionals do. Coaches talk to us all the time. Like, in order for the community to be like on your side, you have to like show support. Like, go out if you see anywhere you go, just make sure that you're always speaking, using manners, and like it'll really help you out in the long run because you'll never know who you're talking to. Like that person that you talk to that day, and you'll probably be working for him later on down the line somewhere. So it really does help out a lot.